So this tale starts on Chris Evans's Twitter account, and he did such a great job with telling this story. I'm just going to read it to you. This story time is a good one. He says, "Gather around, y'all, because I got a good true crime story to tell you. And buckle up because this ish is a doozy, and I guarantee you won't expect the twists and turns this story takes. Let me know in the comments if you are expecting some of these twists." Jennifer and Jamie were a happy couple living in the Dallas area on a beautiful suburban street where all the neighbors knew each other and had a loving, neighborly Christian community, the type of place where you can go next door and ask to borrow a cup of sugar. Okay, so this is Jamie and Jennifer. Jamie worked in IT and was known as a fun, loving, sweet guy who would help anyone. Everyone thought he and Jennifer were such a good match, even though he always said he didn't want to settle down. They were so ostensibly in love, and friends noted how affectionate they were. One morning, Jamie and Jennifer went out for a walk with their dog, and their neighbors heard 9 shots. One of their neighbors went running over to help, but noticed the shooter in all black with his face covered by a blue mask. So he ran back inside and returned with his own pew pew. But by then, the unaliver had taken off. The shooter had fired 9 rounds into Jamie at point blank range. He'd attempted to duct tape and subdue Jennifer, but ran off when the neighbors came running. I'm sorry, he was scared off when the neighbors came running. Everyone in the neighborhood runs outside to console Jennifer, who is in shock. Her husband was just unalived in front of her, and they wait for the police as his body lay in the middle of the driveway. The community rallies around Jennifer and her daughter, and Jamie was the breadwinner. Now they have no means of support. They start a GoFundMe, take turns walking Jennifer's dog, and Jennifer starts a group text chain with her neighbors to keep them updated on the case. Jennifer told the police the description of the unaliver, which wasn't very helpful because he was covered from head to toe. But the witness did tell police they saw the man get into a black pickup with a T sticker on the back. The community seemed dumbfounded. It was very clearly a targeted hit rather than a random crime. But everyone loved Jamie, so who would do this? A disgruntled employee? Jamie and Jennifer had a nice house and vehicle, so maybe an attempted robbery. Jennifer kept the neighborhood group chat updated on the police investigation, which she shared was frustratingly going nowhere with no leads. One of the friends in the chat who was ex-military said he thought it might be a veteran who's trained to empty the clip. But suddenly, out of nowhere, the police have singled out a person of interest, a man named Darren who lived thousands of miles away in Tennessee. Darren had the black truck in question, and you could see there was an outline of the T decal that he had since removed. Darren was apprehended in Tennessee with his daughters in the vehicle, extradited and arrested. But the interrogation goes nowhere as he immediately asked for an attorney. But who is Darren, and why would he want to unalive Jamie, a random man in a completely different state? All right, so this is Darren. And now Chris Evans says, well, let's rewind 7 months. Darren was in the Army and just coming out of being honorably discharged after a vehicle he was in got blown up and unalived a dozen soldiers. Darren was one of the 4 that survived. He was struggling with PTSD, vision issues, brain damage, and more. Now a disabled veteran and rethinking his life, he decides to reach out to his high school sweetheart. They went to prom together and had a great relationship, but lost touch when he immediately joined the Army after high school and got stationed in South Korea. He looked her name up on Facebook and sent a long message to his high school sweetheart about how great they were together and how he'd been thinking about her and how his life would have been different if they ended up together. Her name was, you guessed it, Jennifer. So here is a full picture of Jennifer and Darren. Jennifer was so shocked to hear from her old beau and wrote him back a beautiful note about how his message made her feel so great to hear how he's doing. She gives him her email address and phone number, and they continue to be pen pals. The messages back and forth begin to escalate both emotionally and sexually. They send photos back and forth, long detailed messages about their fantasies, including BDSM, handcuffs, ball gags, choking, spanking, the works. This conversation goes on for months. Jennifer finally tells Darren that she is in a toxic, abusive relationship and that her husband Jamie treats her horribly and even physically abuses her. At a certain point, Jennifer and Darren were literally sending thousands of texts to each other in a 24-hour period. Jennifer confides in a close friend via text that she's having a full-blown emotional affair with her high school boyfriend, but her secret doesn't last long. Jennifer is now a grieving widow, going on the local news months after the unaliving, sobbing and asking for help. Her GoFundMe nets $60,000, and Jamie had $400,000 in retirement benefits. She also files a claim for his $600,000 in life insurance, his $600,000 life insurance policy. She sends Darren credit cards and gifts, but she can't collect on the insurance because the murder investigation is active. The police obtained Jennifer's phone, and she has deleted all communication between herself and Darren. There's just one problem. She forgot to delete the text to her friend confessing of the affair. They have Jennifer and Darren dead to the rights. They'd set the whole thing up. Attended to live off Jamie's money and life insurance after he was dead, lied about the killer trying to tie her hands with duct tape so she would seem like a victim. She's been all over TV with crocodile tears talking about how she shouldn't be a widow at 48, happily accepting all the money everyone's giving her, and in turn sending it to her boyfriend in Nashville, who unalived her husband. She's been showering him with money and gifts, big screen TVs, all kind of mess, giving him access to her Amex and telling him to buy whatever he wants. Another turn. But Jennifer's a victim here too. She was in an abusive relationship and saw no way out. When she got that email from Darren, it gave her an exit from a marriage where she was being abused, SA'd, and passed around to other men. Except everything Jennifer ever said to Darren was a lie. She was never abused, and her husband Jamie never knew about her affair. She pretended to be Jamie in emails to Darren where he confronted him about cheating on his wife. She faked the photos of scratches. She faked the photos of scratches and bruises. Every text or email that Jamie ever sent to Darren about his wife was not real. It was Jennifer pretending to be her husband to create a false narrative that she was a battered wife. Darren had told Jennifer to report her husband to his job. She said that wouldn't work. She said they wouldn't believe her. So she convinced Darren unaliving her husband was the only way for her to escape. There are text messages of Jennifer contacting Darren after the unaliving and telling him to remove the T sticker from the back of his truck because she has a bad feeling. Jennifer was arrested and charged with murder. In the neighborhood group chat, who had suggested the killer may be a veteran, that was Darren. Jennifer had added the actual unaliver to the group chat with her neighbors, and he had the nerve to reply like he was trying to help find the unaliver. Darren, who is now in prison, is currently begging Texas Governor Greg Abbott to help because he was manipulated into unaliving Jamie on false pretenses. So if it was better pretenses, that would have been a better reason. So here's Darren again. And Chris says, oh, since it wasn't clear, Jennifer is sentenced to life, but she still maintains that she was innocent. So this article came out in Fox News. Once I saw the names, I started trying to Google the situation. You guys can look it up. Man found guilty of unaliving Dallas girlfriend's husband. He was sentenced to 62 years. And this, once again, is another picture of Jamie. So this is just another true crime tale. This actually unfolded back in 2020. So this was a long time coming for them to actually get sentenced, and they were sentenced this past summer because this article is dated July 28th. You guys go ahead, jump in the comments, and let me know what you think. Like, comment, share.